comment, like, and subscribe. Well, it's December 26th, and I'm catching up on my videos from the week. This is Street Racing Channel, where they went down to Cletus McFarland's Christmas tree race and went 690s over 200 miles an hour. Really cool stuff to watch those guys. So today, what I'm gonna do, let me pause that. I'm gonna actually get the Foxbody on the lift, take the cover off. I'm kind of stalled right now. I don't have the rest of my parts, so I'm missing my paint to finish painting the engine. My intake manifold will be here today. It's the Edelbrock Performer RPM 2. So this Victor Jr. carb intake's coming off. Other than that, the motor itself is ready to drop in. What I'm gonna do is once I get my motor out, I'm gonna put the accessories and all on the front of it to make it easy. I'm gonna put my flywheel and clutch and bell housing on it, and I'm gonna drop it in that way. My headers won't be here till next week. I ordered a brand new set of BBK 1 3/4 headers. And typically with long tube headers, you gotta kind of put them in as you're sitting the motor in. So I'm gonna wait. I might sit the motor in it, but I won't cinch everything down until I get the headers in, so I'm gonna put those on. And I'm gonna make my Pro Chamber long pipes that go to the shorties. I'm gonna make those fit the long tubes. I bought some tubes and some clamps. I'm gonna try to cut my pipe and make it fit so I don't have to buy a new mid pipe. Plus I like the way the Pro Chamber sounds. But right now, today is literally getting the car torn apart. This is the fun stuff. This is getting it ready, which is always something cool. All right. So I got everything disassembled off the motor. I'm gonna leave the shorty headers on. No matter how much you try to drain it, you're still gonna have antifreeze. It's gonna get places. But I decided to pull the intake manifold off because I'm gonna use that other manifold that's got the carburetor attachment. I feel like it's easier to get stuff off and on. But you can look in here, motor looks really clean. You can tell it's like the stroker motors. 3X is here, which means it's a late model block. I have the drive shaft unhooked, transmission unhooked, bell housing still attached with the clutch. Unhooked all the wiring harness and tucked them out of the way. You don't have to unbolt the hood. Just take you a strap, hook it from the door right here. Nothing's gonna scratch the paint. It's high enough I can get my cherry picker in here. I can pick this up. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna snatch the carburetor intake off of this stroker motor and put it on there, and I'm gonna pull that motor right out, lickety split. But that's the T5 I just had rebuilt that's gonna go behind it. And we are getting close. I'm super stoked right now. So sorry the time lapse was eating up my camera battery. I had to cut my camera off, but you get the idea. And there you go. A lot of preparation work up front, super easy to take it out here. All right, it's time for me to rant just a little bit. So my brand new Edelbrock intake came in. This is the lower, it's the RPM 2, and this is the upper. This thing is awesome, right? Well, there's a couple little gouges in it here, and that's because they shipped it. That's in the bottom, and this was on top of it, and they had these little bitty pieces of cardboard here. That was it. Ridiculous. Well, this was the bottom, right, for the intake. This is the one for the lower intake manifold. See how it cut through the cardboard? What a joke. So it cut through at the bottom of this and riding on top of here and did these little gouges. That's really aggravating. And their quality is a little off too, because this is a bright silver lower and this is like a grayish upper. It doesn't even match, but whatever. It is what it is. I just set this on here for now, just to see what it looks like. That's gonna look really good. I gotta put my thermostat housing on it. I gotta clean up all the accessory drive and put that back on. And right now, instead of bolting this intake down, that carburetor intake sure does make it nice to pull them in and out. So I'm just gonna switch it back, stick it in the car, and once in the car, I'll put the intake manifold on it. But just wanted to show you what it looks like, ran a little bit about the intake. That really makes me mad. Pretty much, I had to get more water out of this thing as I tilled it down. More water came out of the block. No matter how much you shake it, water's coming out. I got to start taking off the hose and things like that and this front accessory stuff, transferring it over. What I'm gonna do now. All right, I got the Edelbrock intake flipped over. Got the hardware kit out here. In the instructions, there's a PCV baffle that must be installed. It says hammer in the round hole first and then the oval hole. When we look, looks like that's more oval and that's round. And these are the knock-in pins they give you. So what we're gonna do, this doesn't go in like this goes in like this, and it helps with the oil control for the PCV. If you don't put it in, you have a heck of a lot of oil pumping through. So put this in first. We'll go ahead and line this up for that, and then we'll make sure this is lined up here. All right, and I'm gonna hammer that in real quick. Let's see here. Okay, there they are. PCV baffles in place. Why they don't just do that for you, who knows? But either way, that's done. Now clean surface, put the gasket on. Can't do that yet, so that's done. I need to get my thermostat housing, put my thermostat all in here. And you look at this funky plate here and this gasket. This actually goes under the upper here. So let's flip this over. I need to worry about scratch it since I already did that for me. Man, that's a pretty intake. So just for reference, people have tested the Holley Systemax and the Perform RPM 2 and negligible in the difference. Everybody swears by the Systemax is the best, but the Systemax is $1,150. This intake was $840. So guess what? It's fine. All right, the way this works, so we're gonna take this gasket. This gasket goes on, something like that. Line up the holes, and then we put this plate on. We want to make sure it's the flattest side down. Or well, the instructions say they want a little bit of silicone RTV on the bottom of the gasket and the top, so I just put a very small smear on it there. We'll drop this on. Of course, it gets everywhere. It's okay. And then we run these in. It didn't even have a torque setting. It just said snug. So, okay, I guess we'll snug these up. Now I'm curious how much that's gonna clear when I go to put in my brass fitting, but didn't say put the brass fittings in yet, so we'll see. All right, just to recap today, got the old engine stripped down of the parts, clutch, bell housing, things like that. Because I wanted to mock it up, I went ahead and did some black wrinkle paint on the valve covers, which turned out really nice. And I went ahead and kind of just sat the intake up there, just one bolt in the bottom, one up here, just to hold it so it looks good. Black wrinkled the mounting bracket here for the alternator and the air conditioning. Put on my radiator hose at the bottom and my crank pulley and the smog pump replacement idler pulley there. But overall, this thing is getting really close. Got my 27-pound injectors in it and my water tube hooked up. So just waiting on parts. It is, today is, what is today? It is Friday the 27th. All right, so I'm gonna end this video now, just showing you getting the motor together, pulling it out of the car, old one's out, new one's getting close, just a little bit of thing, few little things for it. Some paint so I can finish painting the actual pan on it. I got a valve cover stud kit coming to hold the valve covers down. I got a set of long tube 1 3/4 BBK headers. They're titanium coming for it. And I got some header studs. Hopefully I can make those work. And that's about the extent of the big stuff. But yeah, it should be pretty rowdy when it goes together. Hope you like the content. Stay tuned, comment, like, and subscribe.